are going to get into a interesting topic today. We're going to discuss sexual taboos in the black community.
Sexual taboos. Sexual
taboos in the black community. And, you might as well get comfortable with it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. No harm meant up here. These are just our views, our opinions, our perspectives. And we, of course, want to learn. So, if anything, just check me. Just check us all online. Let us know. Again, upanicd.com. We're all on Instagram and Twitter or, Facebook. So, it's all great. Let's get it crowded, man. Let's get it started, Joe. First question. What are some sexual taboos in the black community? And what is causing these things to be a taboo? Should I start?
Yes.
I mean, the taboos that I'm hip to, listen, it is what it is. A lot of taboos in the black community. Sexually speaking, I think it's transgender. I think people still look at that like, they don't know what to do. I think people feel like homosexuality is still a taboo. But I actually think it's starting to turn a leaf. I feel like there's a lot of representation out there right now to a point where it's rubbing some people the wrong way and they're agitated. But then there's other people who are like, okay. And so I don't know that it's taboo. I think the only thing sexually speaking that's taboo would be, I think, transgender and, like, in some cases, like, sleeping with a white woman.
You think sleeping with a white woman's taboo, bro?
I mean, I guess the way that some people respond to it.
Absolutely.
I was like, you saw with a white woman? Like,
I feel like even sleeping with a white dude is like more acceptable than
but black
sleeping with a white
sleeping with a white dude. People get all up in arms about it.
I mean,
I don't know, yo. From what I see, I see. Well. Like, yo, you know what it is? I think it's taboo in, like, certain, like, black communities, right? They try to front. They put up a front as if it's not really a thing. But, in the tuck, they definitely got, like, mad white women under their belt, yo. You know what I mean? As far as, like, who they smash. But they try to keep it on the low. You know what I mean? They don't really talk about it.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So, I don't know. And then, like, black women are, like, I think when they sleep with a white guy, they're, like, boisterous about it. They're like, Yo, Nicki Minaj's new song, Barbie Ting, she's like, just leveled up. I don't want to misquote her.
Nigga,
I don't know if she said
leveled up.
I don't know if she said leveled up. I gotta see. Now I need to go. You need to go to.
I'll protest her in a heartbeat.
Let's go to ola.com.
I was gonna say go to Rap Genius or something.
Son. Don't tell me she leveled up.
But she said something. Just got me a white guy. Something. So I'm the white guy.
Wait, say that again?
Just found me a white guy.
Nikki. It was a good run.
She said something like that in that Barbie Tings record, yo. Go to Rap Genius and look that up, yo.
Wait a golden minute.
I don't want to fuck it up. See. Listen.
Please be a panic.
Rapgenius.com, right?
Look like I'm only listening to Young and May now. For real,
yo, it's all great.
She's like, I'm still fly, just bag the white guy.
I'm still fly, just bag the white guy. My bad. But that's not too bad.
Yeah, she's only saying she bagged the white guy.
Leveled up, nigga.
My apologies, Nikki. I didn't mean to throw that out there. But my point is when black women sleep with a white guy, they're like, it's not hidden the way, some dudes are like kind of afraid to.
Now, I think the reason why is because I think brothers aren't as judgmental. Like, dudes go, whatever, I wasn't checking for her. You know what I'm saying? But when a sister sees a brother with a white girl, she feels like, yo, damn, another brother off the market. You know what I mean? So it's like a different impact.
Makes sense. Yeah, but that's what I see though. As far as taboos, yo, that's what I would say. I don't know what y'all think.
I think it's also still considerably taboo when a woman is expressive. Like, it's very taboo when a woman, explicitly talks about being with multiple guys, or you've seen all of the backlash that like Ambrose gets about like her slut walk but it's true. It's just like women can't have the same braggadocio that men do about like, I was with this Asian nigga, blah, blah, blah. Like, we can talk the same way, and a lot of us do, but there seems to be more of a harsh backlash with women than there is with men. And when you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, you can look at a societal standpoint and you can talk about like, being a lady and all of like the conservatism behind that. But when you really keep asking to each question why, it doesn't really make sense.
I see that point. Yo, I almost feel like women shouldn't. I don't want to. I hate saying what people shouldn't do, but I think that like,
don't panic.
Like the way dudes react, they don't care. Like, I think a lot of times they don't care what people think. You know what I mean? And so that's why they do whatever they want to do. And then I think women will be like, well, how come dudes can do it and we can't? When we get it, we get critiqued. Dudes get critiqued. I think they literally don't give a shit.
Yeah,
you know
because
what I mean?
I think the judgment behind our actions are different.
And
You know
it's
what I
more
mean?
cutting when you call a woman a hoe and a slut as opposed to when you call a man a hoe and a slut. It's a little bit easier as a man to not care when you're called those terms.
No, but you know why?
So
it's because it's because of the judgment behind it, right? If a woman is called a hoe or a slut, right? That tells other men, I don't really want to fuck with her because she's not wifey material. But when a guy is a hoe or a slut, there's always gonna be sisters because the options is real slim. They're gonna be like, I could change him. Like I'm willing to take that chance because hopefully he'll see my qualities and then only fall in love with me. So that's why it's different. But like, let's best believe if we was in a society where sisters had like a plethora of options and a brother was a fuckboy, if you got labeled a fuckboy, you be depressed right now. But we live in a society where it's like you could be a fuckboy and still have options.
Yeah, fuckboy options.
I mean, hey, what's wrong with that?
And this guy on Instagram, he goes by White Collar Crime. He posted something that said, when a man cheats in a relationship, the man and the woman, they work together and they work past it and the relationship gets stronger. But when a woman cheats, the relationship ends. And to a degree, that's true, I feel. I feel like when you hear about like infidelity in relationships and it's the woman, there's no coming back from that.
But it's why though? I don't know. Again, it goes back to intent. Like, this
Are you
may
gonna
sound like
say
a
like the whole
stereotype.
emotional cheater thing? Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a big part of it, though.
I mean, I don't know. Like a guy could literally cheat on some like I'm just trying to bust a nut. Wow, a girl would really like think like, damn, I'm not
falling.
getting something in my life, and this dude right now is providing that.
Right.
I'm willing to sleep with him and this and the third, and then that's like that emotional connection. Like I don't think guys think like that initially. Anyways, it takes us a while to fall into that love thingy-majig. Or to me,
So
it's
you
like,
busted nut first and then
but think about it when
subsequently.
when a dude admits to his woman, yo, I cheated, my bad.
Yeah.
She usually I say, yo, did you wear rubbers? And like, if you should like, yo, do you love her? But why? If you said like, yeah, I love her, then it's a problem. You go like, nah, yo, she was just like something I picked up after the club. She's more willing to forgive. While a guy, he's like, nah, you must have loved the nigga. You know what I'm saying? Or something.
But
you
it's
know what I
never.
mean?
So what if it's a circumstance where the woman was like,
Niggas don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe niggas can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, so dudes is like conditioning their mind, like, because it's like, if you do think like a man, then that means you will most likely do this shit again. You know what I mean? So that's gonna fuck with him. So he's kind of like, she must have been in love with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. It just seems different. And again, these are all like social constructs that we put on men and women.
Yeah.
But yo, it is what it is, man. So
No, I feel you. But then, so just back to it, the taboo.
oh, and sorry, and one last thing too. I feel like guys that do forgive their girls for cheating, especially if the woman had sex with another guy, I feel like those guys will usually get labeled as suckers, or they get clowned to a degree, like, oh, she fucked a whole nother dude, wow, really? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the guy that got cheated on in that situation would get clowned, especially by his peers.
Yeah. No.
If you found out your friend's wife slept with this dude and he was like, I love her and I want to make it work, I can't see you not clowning him.
Y'all, hold on, time out. I think twice it done happened to me before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where I'm like, yo, this dude literally found out and just started bawling and told like a bunch of us, and we was like, damn. And in my mind, I was like, yo, bro, like, I don't think you should be telling people because you seem like you really love her. And it's gonna be weird when you take her back. You know what I'm saying? And what happened?
It's gonna be bad.
Both them niggas took it back, dog. So it's like, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna clown a nigga. Like, I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know. That shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. With love, love's not logical. So me, I go mind your business.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I hear that.
It's the same thing with like your homie or your homegirl's significant other outwardly cheating or whatever, right? It's like, yo, do you tell your homie or something? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's hard.
Yeah, because it's kind of like you're the person that's gonna ruin their life. Like you're literally handing like fucked up news.
Your
to
name
them.
is always gonna come up.
Yeah,
you can't
know
guarantee that your name
like,
won't always come up.
I don't know, yo. This type of shit is like.
Maybe ask leading questions like, "Hey, you see so lately? Were y'all doing anything on Sunday? That's interesting. No reason, just asking."
I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard.
Oh, hold on,
Taboo.
yo. I didn't even answer it, yo.
Yes.
I do got one. I do agree. The trans thing is a major taboo. The reason why, though, is because I think it makes men in particular uncomfortable. Because although a trans woman may look like a woman outwardly,
yes,
they started off as a man, and just that knowing that in the back of your mind,
yes,
will fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think that would be like, yo, that's a no-go, you know, for a lot of brothers. But another one I think, which came across a couple of times, the whole BDSM slavery shit. Shit's weird to me, right?
Yeah.
Where, like,
yeah, that's definitely.
sisters like to be enslaved and all of that weirdo stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like a taboo because it's like, yo, as a black person, like, knowing like the history of slavery, like, why would you do that to yourself?
That is a weird one.
Yeah, that is, and so I don't know. That shit's like major. But I also agree with you, Rome. Like every show that I watch now, has like a gay character in it or multiple gay characters.
Yep.
And I think we're progressing to the point where it's like, yo, it is what it is. Even people who are just like heterosexual, like have no interest in the LGBT, whatever. They're like, yo, whatever, yo. Like, all right, cool, it's whatever. It's kind of like when they used to watch like a heterosexual scene.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, whatever. It's just fucking television. Now, I will be honest, though.
Yes.
And I think I told y'all this before.
Yep.
Normally, it does not bother me.
Okay.
I'm about to panic.
Oh, wow.
But season 2, Dear White People, I'm sorry. That Lionel scene, yo, I was like, why the fuck did they put this shit on the show? Like, yo, this nigga was hurting the little nigga, yo. I was like, come on, son. Like, I had to fast forward that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yo, to me, I don't need to see that. You know what I mean? Like,
he blew his back out.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Yo, I used to watch Oz, right? And like the rape scenes in Oz were like crazy, right?
Yeah.
But those were rape, right?
Yes.
This nigga was losing his virginity.
Yeah.
And fucking almost killed this nigga, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So I was like, I'm good, son. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm all set.
to me, I kind of feel like this is just me.
Yeah.
Yo, I know there's gay people out here. Y'all gonna do y'all thing.
Yep.
Do you.
Yes.
But I just don't need to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm just not built like that. You know what I mean? Like,
But you know, like,
and I don't
I'm
think
just
there's
not
anything
built like that. Yo.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, yo, I'm just. It's I don't even think it's not. People will say, oh, that's just homophobic or that's toxic masculinity or whatever. Nah, dog. It's just that's not my world. So it's like I don't want to see that. Now there's certain like things where you see stuff like I watch like Star Trek Discovery, right? And there's a gay couple on the show, right? They kissed on a couple of episodes, but that's not that serious to me. You know what I'm saying? I watch American Gods. American Gods, it was a gay sex scene between like one of the characters and like this genie or whatever. They made it all artsy and shit, so it didn't bother me. Nigga, this shit was just like, yo, I'm gonna put this shit in this nigga's, you know what I mean? And then the nigga was crying, like not crying, but the nigga was like screaming like, oh shit. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, why is this on television? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like same thing with like 12 Years a Slave. He was choking her just to bust a nut. Yo, that shit was crazy. I was like, yo,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
is this in the movie? Like,
No, I
shit
feel
was
you. I
like,
felt that
yeah,
way.
I can't watch that. I
That's what I'm
haven't seen
saying.
it.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to watch weirdo shit. Like, not saying gay sex is weirdo shit. I'm just saying it's different for me. So
No,
it's
yeah.
like, at least that's my personal taboo, I guess. Like, yo, I know you're gay, bro. You ain't gotta explain what you done did in bed. Like, niggas don't give. Honestly, I don't even give a fuck if my mans and them are having sex. Like, I don't care about niggas like explaining. Yo, I did this position. That keep that to yourself, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
I don't
right.
know. Like, I don't need to know what's going on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
You know?
Nah, I agree with you.
And so that's just me personally.
Do you feel the same way if like a guy is explaining about how he had sex with this chick?
Yeah, I don't want to know nothing, period. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
I'm not
yeah,
sleeping
like,
with you,
but
bro,
yo-
so who gives a fuck?
So this kind of goes into the next question, but before I even say that next question, what constitutes as homophobia? Because like, is that homophobic to not want to watch that scene?
No.
And I feel like it would immediately get called out as homophobic. And it's like,
That's it's a blurry line. I feel like, okay, and people are gonna, I think that the response that I get like when I make this argument is that, oh, but women are naturally emotional and affectionate creatures and blah blah blah, and society is geared towards blah blah blah. But if I walked out every time I seen a scene with like two women having sex, like on TV or like in a movie, I would be walking out a lot, you know? And I guess to a degree where,
What kind of movies y'all watching? The fuck? Sound
well,
like some porn shit.
like, I get,
yo, I know every series has sex scenes in it now, like Power, all them shit.
I stopped with, I stopped.
Powerful. Every episode got one.
Yeah, yo,
Yeah,
facts.
yeah, that was always awkward with like friend screenings. It's like, yeah, no, they're really going at it. But I stopped with what was that show? Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah, that was another one.
I stopped with
was
that
like-
because I was like, okay, all right, now this is just getting to be too much. You know, you do see it more often because the girl on girl and the fetishizing behind that and how
Yeah.
guys fantasize about that. You do see that a lot more commonly, like in TV and everything.
Yeah.
And I think that like what you're seeing on Dear White People and what you're seeing when you're seeing the interactions with two men are just maybe in the hopes that it will break a dam that it would be as normalized as it is when you see two women engaging in sex on TV and stuff like that. Like even this song Girls that came out with like Rita Ora, Cardi B and Charlie something.
Mm-hmm.
There's no song that's that mainstream, at least that I can think of, that's comparable where, and they got backlash for it, but Cardi B made reference to like scissoring.
Oh, like two
Yeah.
years? Oh.
And so I think it was Kalani, the
Kalani,
singer.
yeah.
That said like, you know, she felt that it was, and it was, when you listen to it, like when I listened to it, I was like, oh my God. Like just making really explicit
I
references.
like girls.
Yeah, that's the light poppy part of it, but
I like girls.
but like, you know, there's no comparable song talking about, you know, you don't hear something like I like dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it would be funny.
Yo, is there a nigga that came out with it?
Huh?
Is there someone who came out? I mean, someone can write that song. They made the song and put it out. Just make the song and put it out.
Wait, is there a song that you know of? That you hear like,
I mean, I ain't
you
listening
talking
to
about
it.
like
I'm
a
just
gay
saying they
version?
can put it out.
yeah, like
Oh, no. I thought you meant like, is there a version where like women are rapping about loving dudes? I'm like, yeah, like Little Kim, Foxy Brown.
No, I'm
Nah,
I'm
like-
talking about a song with dudes talking about how he loves other
Yo,
dudes.
well, G wouldn't know.
Right.
Just
G
keep
says-
it a buck with y'all.
G says keep it to yourself.
Yup.
Um,
Hey, but G's progressive. I listen to Young and May, and she be rapping about
you're gonna maybe spitting you.
smashing shorties all the time.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying?
But we just talked about
love
how how much more like normalized in society like girl on girl is versus guy on
Yo,
guy.
listen, dog. There's limits to my shit. I don't know. I can't listen to the nigga talking about bending over, dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just
You know
not
what
my
I'm saying?
preference as a straight male, and I don't
Just
think
not
that that's
built like that.
homophobic. Maybe it is,
But it
and I'll
doesn't-
just be cool and accept the term homophobic.
Not.
but
Whoa, don't panic.
I'm just saying, nah, cause yo, this is what it is, yo. This is how I feel,
Maybe I
right?
just be homophobic.
We speaking on taboo, right? Sexual taboo.
But you're not, just because you're straight, it doesn't mean that you're intolerant of it because you're straight. There's a lot of straight men.
Well, I mean, why do I have to be tolerant of it?
It doesn't say that you have to be tolerant of it.
So why does me being intolerant make me homophobic?
Well, I'm not saying
hold on. To be intolerant, I think it kind of insinuates that you're restricting them from having their sexual whatever.
So what's the word I need? Because I don't care what.
Yeah, I think it's just you just don't want to see it.
We didn't confirm that just because you don't want to see it makes you homophobic.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So I think what makes a person homophobic is like just their being in his existence. You just can't accept. You refuse to work with them. You refuse to entertain anything they have to say. I think that's when it's like you're like, it's a phobia. It's like you're scared of them, and then like you feel like, yo, this shit's gonna spread and shit like that, like the plague or something. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
how I
think it's
look
fine.
at it.
I think it's fine to be like, that's not for me. That's not for my viewing.
I think that's homophobic. I'm gonna be personal, but I'm just keeping it real. I don't even like anal sex. I think that shit's funny style too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, your asshole ain't supposed to be ripped up like that. So I'm always thinking that shit in the back of my mind. Like, damn, this nigga just took that to the ass, bro. Like, the fuck, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that shit's crazy, son. So I'm like, I'm good, yo. That ain't my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
this nigga
I'm sorry, yo. I don't know. I'm just being honest with y'all, yo. No disrespect. You know what I'm saying?
That's great. That's wild. Yo.
I mean, I hear rave reviews about it. I mean, there's got to be something to
reviews. It. Oh, my God.
It's gotten rave reviews.
Niggas be scared to fart and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God. I'm good. Listen, there's a question on here. It says, why is homophobia petty? Is that how that's supposed to be written?
Yeah, I came up with that question. I guess just because when I hear like how guys critique on like, oh, your man's kind of funny style, the way that he was chewing or the way that he was, if a guy has a certain mannerism, and he. Oh,
I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it. I think that like critiquing on somebody else's mannerisms and categorizing that as being gay or homophobia, I think that that's a little homophobic.
So,
so for niggas said like, yo, pause,
right?
Homo,
is that homophobic? Pause.
If you're saying it within like a joking context, that's one thing. But like when I hear, oftentimes that there's certain guys that I hear that talk a lot about the mannerisms of certain dudes of like other guys, and it's like, all right, it's not funny anymore. You keep bringing it up over and over. Right, you got to be touched in some way. So we
can stay right there then. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
Just looking at someone and be like, yo, this nigga look gay, yo. Just off of like a limp wrist or something. Is that what you mean?
Or yes.
The way he batted his eyes.
He batted his eyes.
Cass was like, yo, this nigga's gay, yo.
Or if I remember Jamie Foxx's like, I might need security. He was like, who was he talking about? I think he was talking about LL, and he was like, oh, his lips are glossy, and the way he kept licking his lips and around a room full of dudes.
So you know what?
Like it's like
to that. I feel like I have an answer to that. I feel like homophobia is petty because it's a phobia. I think in that right, where it's you look at everything as gay, you're like, yo, I hope that to me that kind of oozes the symptom of an actual phobia.
Yeah, and then I would say this. Another problem that I have with the black community, right, is
you got so. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. You have so many problems with your community.
Yo, dog, I want my people to be great. But anyways, the issue that I really have is when we look at people and we just make judgments, right? So, like, if you see a brother that's, like, let's say more feminine than the average brother, we go, he must be gay. You know what I'm saying? Or we see a sister who's more masculine than the average sister, she must be a lesbian. Like, I don't feel like we need to associate a person's like sexual preferences with their mannerisms, because there's masculine gay niggas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's feminine gay niggas. Same thing with the women. So it's kind of like, how can you really tell? But because we live in a society that goes, oh, he's feminine, he must be gay. And that was my issue that I had with the movie Moonlight, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Where I felt like I truly believe his moms made him gay. My opinion. You know what I'm saying?
What did the mom do? I didn't see it.
She would call him like the F word, like, you know, you calling your son a and it's just like, yo, he's a little kid. He's probably like 8 in the movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
Other kids is calling him that, but I'm watching the movie. I was like, he doesn't show any signs that he would be gay. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until like he was in high school and then he had a dream about watching his boy having sex with another girl. Then I was like, all right, this nigga gay. But prior to all of that, I was just like, he doesn't even know what it means. Like, he literally asked like his mentor, like, what's a and then the dude explained it. Then he goes, yo, am I gay? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now, if this is what you hear
How
every
old was he
day,
at that point?
I think he was. They don't say his age, but he's mad young. The kid from The Shy, the little kid from The Shy, he plays him.
Okay.
He even looks younger in the movie than what he does on The Shy. So it was like I'm thinking like 8 years old. Like,
gotcha.
And so let's say like it could be from 8 to let's say like 11 or something. Like,
yeah, I got you.
So
Not
watching that, it's like, yo, you're conditioning a kid to think a particular way. If I every day called you dumb, stupid, you're going to internalize that shit for the rest of your life. Hopefully you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you know, you get counseling or whatever, and then you go like, yeah, you know what? I'm better than this or whatever. But the average person, man, like, you know, like those type of wounds, it takes time to heal. So because you walk a little funnier or you look a little
like
different, people are like, oh, you must be gay. So then now you're like, all right, maybe I am. You know what I'm saying? Or, yo, he could have been born that way. I don't know. But the way the movie presented itself, I was like, God damn, like, he's too young to even be attracted to anything, boy or girl. But already you're calling him gay. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't know. I felt like the moms did that to Homeboy. So
I rock with that. I see what you mean. Let's jump on to the next one, yo. I got questions on this question as well. Will homosexuality ever be fully embraced in the black community as well as hip hop? So I guess I want to make sure I'm reading that right. As well as in like we accept it as good as we accept it as, you know, as good as we accept hip hop.
Nah, I think it's with both. Like,
okay.
Will the black community accept it, and then will hip hop?
Will hip hop accept it?
Yeah.
I guess it should have been like especially hip hop music.
I feel like
I think when it comes to lesbians, yes.
Well, because that's happened.
Huh?
Because that's happened so far.
Exactly. Yo, I like Young M.A.
Yeah.
Her music is official. And I don't feel, quote unquote, you know, gay or my manhood or any of my sexuality or being challenged when I listen to her talk about doing what she do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. I would feel uncomfortable listening to a nigga talk about, you know, doing what he do to another nigga. You know what I mean? Me personally. I agree. So I'm not listening to those type of rappers. I won't do it. However, it's a new era. These kids, they for that action. So,
will a woman listen to it? Because I was gonna say, women and like teenagers, I think put the most money into like the support of like album sales and things like that. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm like, there's probably a batch of high school kids who would like bring an artist, I think, to a level. And then will they break that threshold? That's where I'm like, I don't know. Because there's still like an elite, I guess, level of fandom in hip hop that is, you know, dominated with this masculine energy.
Yo, you know what? I take it back. You just said something that's key.
What?
If the person has masculine energy, I think people will be cool with it. Because when you think about it, DMX said several gay lines.
Definitely did, yeah.
Biggie said several gay lines. But we don't think about it like that because we're like, oh, they're masculine. You know what I'm saying? So like, they're like the stereotypical what we feel manhood is.
Right.
So if a dude was gay, like, honestly, low key, DMX might have been gay because this dude has too many lines that were really, really suspect, right? But because he was hard, it's like, nah, but he gets that pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, what was that? Grand Champ. That whole album, every song had at least one gay line.
Would you suck my dick, but you might suck it.
Yo, shit was crazy. Like,
I never heard.
He said wild stuff on that album. I was like, damn, son. Like,
oh man,
it was crazy. You know what I mean? But
had people like, has there ever been an instance where people like collectively were like, is he gay? Like, I'm sure like there's whispers about it, but has it ever been publicly questioned?
I don't know. I know niggas around us always like, that's a possibility. Axes.
I don't think it rose above whispers.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, he's like so hard that people like, give him a pass. You know what I'm saying? So like, for a gay dude to make it, they gotta be super thug. They gotta be like, yo, like I gotta be in fear of my life listening to that motherfucker. And I'm like, that shit go hard though. You know what I'm saying? That's the last thing in my mind. I'm thinking about, yo, this nigga got bent over. I'll be like, oh, nah, nigga, he's definitely a giver and not a receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I can say that. Even I'm thinking now that you say that, I'm even like, I guess if he's not just rapping sexual lifestyle the entire time, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's like a gay drug dealer. This all probably sounds crazy.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, yo, listen, dog. I'm just being real, yo. I can't listen to that shit, man. I don't know. I can't relate, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can relate to Young M.A. I can't relate to a nigga talking about getting bent
that's really
over.
What if it's like
it's relatability?
What if it's like beats done by like Zaytoven and like your favorite producer and all that? And I think too, like you
once
would
that nigga say putting something in his mouth, we done. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, dog.
And it would be hard not to like. I get it, because if it's catchy enough and you catch yourself singing along,
I can't. I'm not saying that. Yeah, nah.
You're like, trying to rinse your mouth out. Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
Trying to do all these like hyper masculine things to like get it out of your system.
Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I gotta do 25 push-ups.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He started chopping wood. And you ever seen that commercial where a guy used his wife's like feminine body wash by accident as like shampoo, and he like drove a tractor, chopped wood. He pulled like a tractor trailer with his teeth.
I did see that. Yeah.
He do it.
He made like
I gotta fucking.
He made like a medieval like iron helmet. Like he welded it in his garage. Like he spent the whole day doing like ultra masculine shit, and then he like ended it.
To balance it out.
Yeah, be hyper masculine for 1 second.
And it was funny because it was like low key like questionable, but like he ended the day with just like sitting on the couch and like crushing a beer can, and his wife was like, "Oh, that was a close one, huh?"
That nigga bugging, nigga. Sometimes I ain't gonna front, man. I used to use my fucking wife's deodorant. It is what it is.
Yeah, sometimes it's got more of a
Yeah, but yo, just to get to the other part of this question, I do feel like it's slowly becoming embraced in the black community. As far as hip hop goes, I don't know. I feel like that it could, because all it takes is a community of people to support the artist to make some noise. Tekashi 6ix9ine needed no help from label mates. You know what I mean? Or I shouldn't even say label mates. He got his own deal on his own because of people who liked him.
Watch your mouth, yo. Why you talking about Tekashi while we talking about gay rappers, dog?
I wasn't trying to put him in that lane, but you know what I mean. You about to face the blicky. He's definitely not in that lane, yo. He's definitely hyper masculine, toxic masculinity.
That nigga ain't no
if
hyper
anything,
nothing, dog. That nigga got rainbow.
Well, he's hyper. I'll say he's hyper.
All right, yeah,
he's hyper, yo.
He's just ADHD.
But there's a slew of artists who come up with no help from like label execs. So all it takes is support. If there's a gay artist who's on, the dude from Empire, I think, doesn't he have a huge fan base? What's his name? He was recently on the Breakfast Club.
Jussie Smollett.
Yeah.
That guy. He's not a rapper, though.
What does he do? Sing? He sings?
I think he's a singer. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, what's him called? Who's that dude's name that was gay? That's a R&B artist that everybody fuck with.
White dude?
Frank Ocean.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but he low key kind of says, I'm not gay though.
He doesn't really sing about being with other men.
Yeah,
like that.
But he's gay though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, people it's degrees to it. You know what I mean? Like,
so that raises the content.
Tyler the Creator. He's been
Tyler
like,
the Creator just came out.
Yeah, like this dude's been saying he's been sleeping with dudes and all that shit. Like, you know what I mean? So he's either gay or bisexual, whatever.
Right.
So it's like, so is it more having to do with not listening to content, or if the person is like openly gay and that content's not in their music? So if they're openly gay and they're effeminate, especially, but the music is really good, but they don't make reference. They don't.
He's gay, but he's masculine, and he rapping that gangster shit, I could listen to it. But nigga, once you start talking about penises or whatever,
no, but they're not talking about, and they're not making any like references
I could probably
to that.
listen to. Yo, think about it. I'm pretty sure half these rappers is gay.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you have a list of your favorite rappers.
Yeah,
a lot of these niggas is down low, son. You know what I'm saying? So, come on.
I agree.
Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean?
Just not for nothing, I think one of my favorite songs on Channel Orange, I think, is actually about the guy that he had a relationship with on Frank Ocean.
The Bad Religion song?
Nah, One of my favorite jams from Bad Religion. I haven't even heard that title in a long time. I should go back and listen to it. It's the one about like a tornado coming around my room and something.
That wasn't from Chane'l Orange.
That was on Chane'l Orange.
I thought that was from his first album. I thought Chane'l Orange was the one that had pyramids.
Yeah, that's on that album.
That's on that album. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought that was like older than that.
Tornado around.
He's feeling it.
That's my shit. But my point is
what that tornado mean though?
Listen, I don't know. I just keep it at the subjective nature of the track. But so I honestly think it can, but I think we got some time to go. Let me jump into this next one, yo. With the popularity of films and shows like Moonlight, Dear White People, The Shy, we mentioned all these so far, Queen Sugar, who have characters who are part of the LGBT community, has the black community opened up to accept alternate forms of romantic relationship?
I think they have.
Yeah.
Like I actually watch most of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with the exception of that scene in Dear White People, it didn't necessarily bother me. Like even like Moonlight, and I'm not toxic, like a toxic masculine or hyper masculine dude. I'm just a regular heteronormative.
You regular,
you know what I'm saying?
Heteronormative.
Well, whatever the shit is, I'm just a regular dude from fucking Boston, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Cisgender ass.
Yeah,
nigga,
I'm just a regular nigga with all these terms and shit, right?
Right.
Like, it didn't bother me watching the movie. You know what I'm saying? And because it's, at least with me, I can't relate to the gay stuff, but I guess his upbringing, being raised in the hood and stuff like that, I could relate to. You know what I'm saying? And even him depicting a masculine, like he's almost like his mentor and all that stuff. Like, I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could relate to shit like that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like disturbing watching it. You know what I mean? And like, I think in the other shows, they do a pretty good job of showing, like, I guess the humanity of people in the LGBT community. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I think in the 90s and probably in the 80s, 60s, 70s, all of that, when people talked about, like, gay people, they were like, yo, these people are sick, they're mentally ill, they're this, they're that. But now when you watch television, you go, yo, you know what? Damn, I can see why that person loves that person. Or, you know, like, if that person gets hurt, you fall in love with the character development and everything. You're like, damn, that's fucked up. What happened to that character? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's like the little things in those shows or movies that provide that, I guess, that human characteristic. Yeah. That I think it is beneficial for our community, because then it's kind of like, you know, we all, I don't know if we all, but like at least with me, right? Like on my wife's side, there's gay people in her family, right? I got, matter of fact, I got a gay chapter brother, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, none of that shit bothers me, because it's kind of like, it is what it is. I just know people are going to do what they do. But those type of shows help, like, those religious fanatics, you know, like, people that grew up in, like, the church, the mosque, and shit like that, who are just like, nah, yo, my kid, nigga, they dead to me, blah, 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 and all this stuff. They watch that show, and they probably like, oh, these shows, and probably go like, you know what, even though I disagree with that lifestyle, I can still accept my child, or I can accept my family member or my friend or what have you.
I got you.
And I think that, you know, especially when you've come out with something that's more groundbreaking and apart from what everyone else is doing, and the work is really good, you don't really see the backlash as much. Like, I don't recall, like, Janelle Monáe ever being under fire for, you know, how she's chosen to identify in terms of, like, her sexuality. And the woman from that created The Shy, I forgot her name.
Lena Waithe.
Lena Waithe. I don't really hear anything about her either.
Yo, and that's another thing I like about the creator of The Shy.
Yeah.
Like, one of the characters, his mother is lesbian, right? And she's like married to a black woman, right? And it's like they're like the background characters, right? But they're a happy family. You know what I mean? Like the son, the daughter, and her significant other, and it's like, it just seems normal. You know what I mean? It's not like they support each other, they support the kids, and it's like, it's not a big deal. And that's like, to me, I think those are like the little accomplishments or milestones that I think that community, the LGBT community, is pushing for. where they're trying to make it normal. So, which it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, certain people are actually gay. Some people are actually lesbian. Some people are actually bisexual. Some people identify as others. Some people identify as queer, whatever. So, because that's just the world we're living in, hey, it is what it is, man.
No, I got you. Yeah. I'm with that.
Yeah, Lena Waithe had a, I think you said that you've never seen Master of None, but she had a really great episode that I think that she directed, and it was an episode where...
And she wrote it, I think, as well.
Yeah. Angela Bassett and Kim Whitley are in the episode, but she talks about growing up and coming out to her family. Like, Angela Bassett plays her mom, and Kim Whitley, is that her name?
I think so.
She plays like
Angela Bassett, man. That's a bad woman, man.
Yeah, she's beautiful. But the story talks about her growing up as identifying as a lesbian and like coming out to her family. And
what's this movie?
This is the show Master of None. Yeah.
This is Aziz Ansari.
The Indian dude, the comedian.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the Netflix series. And so it like takes place like it always takes place on a Thanksgiving Day, and it's like every 5 years or something like that. But she's really created like groundbreaking work that is pertinent and very resonating with the Black community. And I think that, yeah, like her sharing her story and her experience with like, or the characters like story and experience of coming out. I don't know if it's true to her actual experience. You know, it definitely in a way, educates people as well as like, people are finding relatability within that story.
All right. Well, last question. This is a good one. I don't know where this is going to go. I actually just seen this. Do you believe that the Black Lives Matter movement lost momentum when they started to advocate for the Black LGBTQA community? Is that due to homophobia? I don't think it's due to homophobia. But I think what happened is the movement started off with like, I think, Black men getting killed by police, and then I think it opened up where we've seen Black women as well. You know, it's always been happening across the board. I think the way the media gave it to us, you know what I mean? Black men were getting killed by police or whatever. And when it shifted from that to focus more on them, and I remember when this information first came to me, I didn't really rock with it because I was like, yo, if someone says, do Black Lives Matter, I actually just rock with that statement of Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? If someone asked me, do Black Lives Matter, I was always like, yo, yeah, you're going to reply Black Lives Matter. And I still will, actually. But I just feel like when I went to the website, this is when everything changed.
Yo, same here, bro.
This is when everything changed. When I went to the website.
Don't fuck with black men.
They literally kept out black. I think they explicitly... at first, and you know, the dialogue may have changed by now because of the backlash they even got from it, but they specifically detailed and explicitly listed out Black families, Black mothers, Black women, LGBTQIA. Like, they almost gave every pronoun that represented something that had nothing to do with like men at all. Like, it's almost like they literally just kept it out. I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, they said Black mothers but didn't say Black fathers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they said, like, it was like stuff like that, like daughters, but they didn't say sons, or like it was like really weird the way it was written. And at the time, I didn't even know that there was a website for Black Lives Matter. I was like, there's a website?
The website up too. I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to find where like it was like a list of things that they're trying to accomplish, but it's not listed, yo. Like,
yeah, it's completely.
It should be like
different.
right in the front. Hold on.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not it.
And
her story.
It's the way it started off, it just wasn't like first of all, the fact that the hashtag has a website.
I ain't gonna front, but the website's kind of fresh though.
The one now?
Yeah.
See,
they upgraded on us, dog. You know what I'm saying?
At first, I remember it was just like the all yellow.
Still loading those shit.
You know, and then when people started telling me where the money comes from, and then the way things get funded, it just made me kind of back away from just participating in the movement. Like, I feel like if someone asked me that question, I know the answer. But as far as me, like, participating in that movement, you know, it is what it is. But I don't think that's due to homophobia at all.
I can't find the demands, bro.
They took them off.
Yeah, Yeah, they probably was like, yo, we know we pushing this anti-black man agenda, but we don't need to share it now.
And that's very important. Whenever you want to figure something out, following the money is actually really important, because why would someone give millions into something? You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason marketing dollars exist. There's a reason why people spend money to market something. Like,
sound like, gee, let's get it.
I mean, listen.
Right? I'm saying double.
Listen. Why would Budweiser pay? How much money does it cost to run that big Jay-Z festival in Philly? You know what I mean? And like, it's like a Budweiser sponsored event. Mm-hmm. Why would they spend like $6 million or however? It probably costs like tens of millions. I don't know, but why would they spend that money? It works. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So when you look at like a Black Lives Matter and you look at where the money comes from and what's being put out of it, I can't just ignore it. You know what I mean? I have to consider that.
So where is the money coming from?
George Soros.
Yeah.
Who's George Soros?
He's like a major hedge fund fucking financial guru.
Right. I just know him like a hedge fund guy. I think he gave,
how much was it? Was it 30 million or 3 million? I think it was 30. He gave 30 million to Black Lives Matter. Let me just confirm.
Get that number
million.
right.
Yeah, we ain't got the intern on deck. So
I know.
Where's the intern? I thought he was coming.
Nah, he's not. He's not gonna make it for this episode. I think he said he'll make it for the next one, next week or whatever. But while he pulls that up, did you have any thoughts on it?
Not really. I do think it's interesting. You don't really hear as much about the movement anymore. I wonder, like, I haven't really kept up with the website or anything. It doesn't mean it still shouldn't be supported. Maybe there are more vehicles and avenues of resource and support for Black men than there are any other like category or other group of like Black people. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's not enough focus that's put on, like Black mothers and young girls. And I remember,
I wish I could have screen captured it, because the way it was written, I'm not making this up. The way it was written, it was like they listed every pronoun that represents anything that's not like just masculine male. Mm-hmm. Like I said, like the first thing was I noticed is that they mentioned mothers, didn't mention fathers, but they listed everything else. Like, why would you say mothers, daughters, you know what I mean, and then just leave out fathers, son, you know what I mean, sons, but then they'll say family, and I guess they're like, oh, well, we include you in family, but I'm like, nah, but you singled out all these other people.
Have they gotten like backlash behind that?
Nah, but I'm telling you, I didn't. Most people I don't even think would go to like blacklivesmatter.com. They just know it as a hashtag. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't think to go to the website until someone told me, yo, go to the website. And then I was like, they got a website? You know what I mean? So that's how I got put onto it. And then that's when you find everything out. Even just the hashtag being branded. It's almost like someone came and bought the movement.
Yeah, they're saying $33 million.
$33 million.
Wow.
Someone came through, did up their logo, gave them a fresh website.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, that's weird, because it's supposed to be looking for like, they're supposed to be searching for justice, and I don't even see the steps that they make towards that. To be honest, I don't even know what they're doing. Is it still
talking about like geared towards like, police killings, police reform, anything like that?
Now,
I don't think I've even seen them in the
off like that, but then it opened it up to mad shit.
Yeah,
but it's just. Again, from a strategic perspective, right? You already know the Black community is divided on mad stuff. Mm-hmm. But when you start piling on like a bunch of things that a lot of us ain't rocking with, you just lost your momentum. You just lost your soldiers. You fucked up. And so, but I don't think the goal was ever to unify Black people. And that's why I'm like, anytime these, me, man, I don't trust white people that give money. Because they always want something in return.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They're not just giving.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to just give millions of dollars to uplift Black people. There's a catch. And then out of nowhere, next thing you know, these same people that were like protesting against police brutality are now shitting on Black men. And I'm just like, yo, I'm good. I'm all set with all of that.
Yeah. Nah, man. I mean, it brings me right back to protests, because it's like, like I said, I haven't seen them active in the recent killings, and to me, it's a brand. It literally is just a brand now, unfortunately. And I don't see how they stayed on top of like actively trying to seek justice for these individuals. Even with, this is kind of unrelated, but like, even with all these documentaries coming out on the different killings, like I seen the Khalif. This wasn't a killing, but like the Khalif Browder story, definitely a necessary story to be told. There's a new documentary coming out, I think on HBO or somewhere, on Trayvon. I think there's a documentary coming out on him. Like, this shit's so sad. I don't want to put myself through watching this all the time. And then it's like, where does that money go? And I think it goes into like trying to help him, but I feel like ultimately the powers that being gonna, I don't know, that shit just ain't changing. Like, I feel like this is a point where cats really do have to be strategic and figure out how to this is gonna sound crazy, but like infiltrate the politicians and really try to change some laws, I guess. But it's like there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, yo.
Yeah.
Sheens might fuck with what I'm about to say. And this is no disrespect to black feminists, but I don't think the leadership should only be black feminists, because they're looking at it from one lens. And so you need diverse people up top, because if it isn't diverse, then this is what happens, where it's like the leaders go like, you know what, we're just gonna compile everything and then we're gonna try to like make a movement. But it's like, yo, the vast majority of the black community aren't a part of the LGBT community. You can't risk alienating all of these people, especially when you need as many people as possible to get your agenda accomplished. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, this is fucking like ridiculous, like.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is because, I said this before in one episode. This is the problem that I have with academics, right? These are like black people from like
DJ academics.
No, not DJ
academics.
like academia, like
academics.
Yeah, actually academics, right? Where it's like they're from like upper middle class neighborhoods. They go to top schools. They become, out of nowhere, they become magically involved with the oppression of black people and stuff, which is commendable, right? However, they don't really have the direct connection with people on the front lines in these streets, right? In the hoods, right? Like, I have students like that, right? These motherfuckers, they super duper woke, but they scared to go to Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan.
Yeah.
And when you have that type of situation, they want to be involved. They want to change society. However, they're not willing to go down to the streets and have real conversations and see what these people really want. So we have these people on there up in the ivory towers dictating what should be happening in the inner cities and things of that nature. But you're not from there. So to me, just like, you remember I was like, I was scared to even have this conversation because we don't have like a LGBTQA person represented in this episode. And I feel like the same thing should be applied when it comes to like any type of leader or organization that's supposed to represent the entire black community, if in fact that's what they're trying to do. We should all be involved. There should be like a person who thinks similar to myself, similar to you, Sheen, similar to Rome.
Yeah.
Even Fu, you know what I'm saying? Like with his Hotep ass. Like, yo, everyone should still have...
With his black Hotep ass.
Yeah, but everyone should have some form of representation at the top, so that way everyone negotiates, right? Like, yo, what was it, that 444 video?
Oh, Family Feud?
Family Feud, right?
Yeah.
Remember when all the women rewrote the Constitution?
Yes.
And it was different types of women from different walks of life, white, black, Asian, trans, whatever. All of them were there, right? That was dope. Why? Because it's like, yo, everyone's sharing their perspective. When you only have the super duper woke people at the very top, most of them hate black men anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most of them have certified issues with black men. Yo, clearly they're going to push an anti-black male agenda.
Right, but what you're asking, though, it's like you have to be careful that you're not falling into kind of like an all lives matter kind of slippery slope because, all right, you're saying with this, there has to be multiple perspectives at the top. But reading and going through what like the herstory piece of BLM,
Her story.
yes. Now this is why it's saying her story, because there are a lot of movements and organizations that are geared towards the support and the alliance of like straight black men, and then it goes on to say that you know, it leaves women, queer, and transgender people, you know, outside of the movement. And so here's a movement that's geared towards specifically those people that are pushed to the side, bringing those people to the center.
See, but
so
they
when
did
you
it through
say
false pretenses, and that's
Yes.
where I think me and Rome are like,
Yeah.
that was fucked up.
well, listen,
Because it
I
started
don't know
off
if
as one thing
Thank
and
you.
moved into something.
right, but I don't know. Maybe there are companies who have had one mission and they've sustained that mission over time, or maybe hold on. Well, there are companies that started and they maintained that mission throughout the course of time, and then there were other companies and corporations that started with one mission and then through the course of that realized, hey, while we're doing this work, there's actually a ton of people that are doing exactly what we do, but here's another group of community that's being completely forgotten. Maybe we can leave this to the experts and the organizations that have been focused on this for a lot longer than we have, and we have this upstart, and let's bring visibility to these other communities of people that are not being recognized.
I'd be cool
And then
with
you're
it
saying
if they did that.
and to say, but that is what they're doing.
They left it to another group that is more expertise.
They didn't formally pass the baton and say, here, other group that's working towards, you know, police brutality and specifically focusing on that. By them shifting their focus, that is them doing that.
Well, I guess the
think-
issue though is if you're like, I like the analogy of a company when you're in the midst of like something with such high tension of like Ferguson, the situation, and Mike Brown, and you create something. And I actually think it was the dude who died, right, who passed away with the dreads, Black Lives Matter. You know, he creates something and creates that hashtag for this specific situation and for this specific thing, and then someone swoops in and buys it and rebrands it. Like, I guess on a business level, because they remove all empathy and feeling when they make moves, that makes sense. But just for this situation, I didn't feel it was right.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
like think about D-Ray is the modern day Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King did the very same thing that D-Ray did. And it's fucked up because you got people in the streets, people from those communities really like mobilizing and trying to get things accomplished. And then you just swoop in last minute, take all the credit right in front of the media. That's fucked up. You know, and then later on y'all switch up and y'all go from, yeah, we're trying to advocate for black men to, yeah, we're really just trying to advocate for the black LGBT
But what's the
community.
response to what I just said, though?
That was my response. My response is, because you made the analogy of the company saying, hey, they passed this on. I don't think it was right that they did that.
You don't think that it was right that they are saying like, hey, there's all of these other movements that have that are existed that are working towards this, and none that are working towards queer women, specifically black families, the trans community, and let's take this on. And if you want, like you said, G, that it shouldn't just be black feminists at the forefront, that it should be a collective of people. Shouldn't it be a collective of people with organizations under each respective community, and then those communities working together? How do you know that BLM isn't working in conjunction with other organizations that work towards, you know, the liberation of black men who are incarcerated? Like, how exactly do you know what they're doing?
Because remember what episode we had with the attorney? One of the questions I actually brought that up, where Black Lives Matter, that organization is actually working with several organizations to do a lot of progressive things in the black community in regards to law and law enforcement and incarceration, things of that nature. But however, if their main focus is still this, I don't see it as strategic. To me, it doesn't make sense when you grabbed everybody with black men are being fucked over, right? Then when everybody's like, yeah, yo, we fucking with the movement, yo, sign us up, da, 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 and then you go, yeah, now we flipping the script. we only focus really on, you know, the marginalized
after
LGBT.
the creator dies.
But what do you? But what?
Yeah, thank you. After, yeah,
Right.
that's, I
I
don't
just
know.
felt like
It's
the whole thing was fucked up. That's all. That
that
was
shit
my
ain't
direct
right,
response.
yo.
to
I
that.
mean,
that
they
ain't
formally explained like what they were doing by there. I don't think that anybody branded BLM in their arm with the promise and purpose of it being specifically geared towards black men, and now they feel like stabbed in the back or anything
No, it
like
didn't
that.
have
I
to
don't
be
think that.
specifically black men, but the difference is they removed black men from all their action items. That was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I wish you could have seen it.
Yo,
before.
I'm dead shit. I seen it
I can't.
myself. Like I
can't
remember it was
explain
me, him,
otherwise.
fool. We seen the shit. We seen the list. And I was like, yo, that's fucked up. They really don't give a fuck about black men. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's how they.
I mean, that's how we felt, yeah.
Oh well, hey, that's how I'm gonna take it. I'm
Yeah.
offended as a
I'm
black
sorry.
man.
Do you want a hug?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't need no
Nope.
hug, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want a hug from a black feminist?
Nope. Definitely not black fan. It might rub up on me. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want that shit.
Yeah, real.
Well, look.
That shit's cooties, nigga.
You gonna go by feminista G in the next episode?
All right, next episode. You know what I mean?
Man,
Feminista G, dog.
we gonna wrap this one up, man. I let that last one go on. That was interesting. Well, that was that. That was, what was that? Black sexual taboo. No. Yeah, sexual taboos in the black community. That's interesting that we got to BLM. Yo, I was getting ready to say protest. We talked about the BLM for the last thing, but I'm like,
Yo,
well,
this is what we need to do, yo. Yo, community organizers, if y'all really about the life, or even Black Lives Matter people in Boston,
Yo,
hit
facts.
us up. Come holler at us, man.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to sit down and really like talk to y'all and like see what y'all really about and everything.
Please
You know
do.
what I'm saying? If y'all upset, yo, I don't care how deep y'all come, just show up.
Yeah, please do. We'll rent out the large.
You say how deep y'all come.
We'll get a larger studio just for y'all, yo. You know what I mean? Make it a party, you know. But look, thanks for listening. If you have anything to say about anything that we said, please don't hesitate to comment. Send an email. You know, upanic. Anyway, go to upanicd.com, upanicd.com. Go down to UC, join the convo, and do so the best way you know how. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. But that's it. It's Upanic. It's Upanic. Talk to y'all next week.
Baby, come over, let me show you all of my loving for you. Wind it in for you, let me adore you. I know what you want to do. Let the music just take you away. I know where your heart is, so just stay. Let the rhythm take your body, yeah. Let's get down and enjoy the party, yeah. Just wind to the beat with me. Don't go nowhere, this is where you wanna be. Say it loud, say it proud. Oh baby, say my name. Grab my hips, just like this. I know you feel the same. Cause we don't have no time to wait. Let's dance and let the record play. Oh, watch me bring it back just like that. Do you like the way I do it? Cause you know they say it's better if you put your back into it. Can you catch me as I give it to you? Can you tell that I'm ready for you? How it feel when I grind like this? Just watch me as I wind my hips. You wanna take a ride, so let's go. You wanna know what's up, I'ma let you know. Loving the way that you feel right now. I'm throwing it back now, I got you like wow. You wasn't expecting for it to go like this. I got the kind of body to make you wanna commit. I see you loving the way I move my hips. I could show you something that you won't forget. Say it loud, say it proud. Oh baby, say my name. Grab my hips, just like this. I know you feel the same. Cause we don't have no time to waste. Let's dance and let the